Today on Sinder's Playground, we're going to be talking about one of my favorite horror films ever. Well, that is Phantasm. So stay tuned. Hello, welcome to Cinder's Playground. I'm your host, Cinder.
And I'm Jose.
And today, Jose, man, I'll take a little peek behind the curtain for the audience here. He had no idea I was going to do this episode today because last week we discussed what topics we were going to cover. And then as I was doing research, I was like, you know what? I don't feel like doing any of those. I was like, so I just came up with my own shit. So just like, you know what? I'm going to do Phantasm because I know this motherfucker hasn't seen this film. And it's dope. And plus, I would say majority of the audience probably has never even heard of it. So it's going to be a chance to educate all of you with this underrated film, in my opinion. So, Jose, are you ready for me to tell you about this fantastic film that I love so much?
Well, let's go.
Okay, so Phantasm is a 1979 American fantasy horror film directed, written, edited by Don. I'm gonna fuck up his name. Corselli. I'm gonna just say Corselli.
What does it look like? Oh yeah,
Corselli.
Coscarelli.
Coscarelli. Okay, that sounds more like it. Coscarelli. It is the first film in the Phantasm franchise. It had a budget of $300,000 and it grossed $22 million over its time in theaters. It introduces the tall man played by Angus Scrimm, who is a supernatural undertaker who turns the dead into dwarf-like zombies to be sent back to his home world to be slaves. He is opposed by a young boy named Mike, played by Michael Baldwin, who tries to convince his older brother, Jody, and family friend Reggie of the threat. Most of the ideas for Phantasm were developed by Don himself from a nightmare he had as a teenager. In his dream, he was chased by a flying chrome sphere, which is featured in the film. His previous films weren't too successful, so he heard that horror films at the time were always successful. So branching out into horror allowed him to combine his childhood love of the genre. The original idea was inspired by Something Wicked Comes His Way, a book by Ray Bradbury. Do you know who that is?
No.
He's one of the legendary.
Ray Bradbury?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He wrote, Fahrenheit 451, right?
Yes. Yes. Who was a legendary writer in sci-fi and horror. Initially, Don wanted to adapt Ray's story for the movie, but the license had already been sold. The theme of a boy's difficulty convincing adults of his fears was a key component of the story, as well as Invaders from Mars, which is a movie, and Dario Argento's masterpiece, Superior. Yeah, Superior, I think it's right. This, Dario Argento. We should do a thing on him because he's so good. Weird, but good.
You got the Blu-ray version out here.
Being good. That's how much I love this film. I'm going to say, I love this film, sir. So I just showed my co-host I have two versions of Superior. It's one Blu-ray and one DVD. I actually bought. What is it? All right, there's a box under. Is it under or over? Yeah, it's on top of my cable box. It's it's a Blu-ray player, but it's not region locked. So what you call it? So I bought that just to watch this because this is an Italian film.
Oh shit!
I bought that just to watch this, man. So it's a region locked region locked Blu-ray player because I wanted to watch this. You know what it was, and I had to own it. Okay. So just was a little sidebar there for you. And a little surprise for you there. So sure. But yeah, no, we should definitely do a show on Dario Argento. He's like one of the masters of horror. Well, not American horror, obviously, because he's from Italy. But like that, that's it. Foreign people just get horror so much better than we do, I think. Yeah. If you look at Japan now, going to like England over there. I mean, look at what's it? 28 Days Later. I mean, that's like a fucking European film. I love that film. I mean, what do you rank that around your zombie movies? 28 Days Later.
I give it an 8.
Yeah, it was good. I mean, I really do like it.
It's probably one of my favorite zombie movies, though.
I mean, for me, it's like Night of the Living Dead and Dawn of the Dead. Both versions, like the remake and the original Dawn of the Dead. I really like Eli Roth Dawn of the Dead, though. Like, can I tell you when that movie came out? I probably saw that movie like 4 times in the theater.
Really?
Yeah, I liked it that much.
Unheard of for you.
I liked it that much, man. It's so good. I mean, that's not the only film I did that way. At that time frame, I probably saw episode 3 episode 3 like 4 or 5 times. Revenge of the Sith. Come on, bro. Yeah.
Well, that one I could expect.
I probably saw that like 4 or 5 times, bro. Seriously. I was. Yeah. That's probably the one film I've seen most times in the theaters was Revenge of the Sith. Yeah, ridiculous, bro. Oh. All right. So anyway, I got off track there, but yeah. I mean, would you want me to do an episode on him, like his films and stuff like that?
Yeah.
No, he did. I mean, he does some great shit. It's just so. It's un-American, but like in a good way, like because he uses a lot of black colors, like, and his blood is just like vibrant. It's like vibrant red. I'm just like, oh my god, it's almost beautiful. It really is, and like
because the way it's shot.
Yeah, because the way it's shot, and he uses a lot of colors, like not even like the colors like on sets. Like one scene, the lighting can be just all blue. You know what I mean? Like everything is like kind of the blue like motif and lighting and everything. Then the next scene, everything can be white. It's like I said, it's artsy, but it's good and it's kind of weird, but I like that. So yeah, like I said, I would definitely I'm gonna put him on the list. Remind me. Actually, no, I'm gonna just write it right now. Write it right now. Put it on the list, man. Dario Argento, man. He's awesome. So yeah, expect that in the near future. Listeners, you would definitely expect that. Okay, now I forgot to find my place again. Okay, so which a lot of Argento's films have no explanation for certain things. When it came to the ending, Don's initially wanted to shock the audience and send the people out of the theater with a bang. Okay, now we're gonna go into actual filming. So, when it came to the film's funding, the bulk of it was due to Don's father, who was credited as the film's producer. Don's mother came up with some of the movie's special effects, costumes, and makeup. The cast and crew were made up of friends and expiring actors. Side note, due to their inexperience, they did not know that blanks could be dangerous. Don, while directing a scene, jacket caught on fire from one of the blanks of a shotgun. Which I thought was kind of funny, so I had to throw that in there. Because he could not afford to hire editors or cameramen, Don did these duties himself. Filming was done on the weekends and sometimes lasted 20 hours. This was over the course of a year. Reggie, who was one of the characters and his real life name, did all his own stunts. The film is set in Oregon, but it was shot in the San Francisco Valley. Um, the script often changed during production. Reggie said he never saw a completed script.
Oh,
Instead, they worked scene by scene with improvisation. Don admits the script was unfocused and rewriting and had done rewrites during filming. The sphere came from Don's dream, but the drilling came from a metal worker who designed the spheres for the film. Sadly, though, he passed before the film was released, so he didn't get to see his creations on the screen. You know, which is dope. Because actually, I thought Don came up with that whole thing with the spear drilling the people's heads, but no, he just came up with the spear. The guy who made them came up with the drill, which is awesome. So the 1971 Barracuda was used because Don remembered a kid who had one when he went to high school, and he always wanted one, and so he realized that he could get his hands on one if he used it in a film.
Oh, shit.
Can you imagine that? Just like wanting to wanting to have a car in your film because you liked it. It's like yeah, I need a Barracuda. Doing this film, I need one. Which is dope.
Did he keep it afterwards?
No.
Pretty sure.
No. I mean, yeah, he probably bought it from the guy. He's like, yeah, man, can I have this? Okay, so the ice cream shop was filmed on the outskirts of San Diego. Because there was a couple scenes, like 2 scenes in the ice cream. There's one inside the parlor and there's one outside the parlor. What you call it? And I mean, if you look at it, like you can tell there's, I don't know, it's probably like a small podunk town because you really didn't see a lot of people, like extras or anything.
Was that the end?
No, that was like towards the middle. Okay, so post production took another 8 months. The first test screening was poorly received due to the film's length. Don says he focused way too much on character development. Pause there for a second. So do you think that's a bad thing if you focus too much on your character development?
No, look at Marvel now. I mean, if you look at how it started, they focused a lot on character development, giving them like 3 movies before they got to the big bad. And then now it's like everyone gets a part in one movie together. And then now they're all like coming up against the big bad. So it's like, I don't know. It could be good. It could be bad. But I feel like character development is important.
Well, I'm sure when he was making this, he probably thought this was going to be his only one of like, yeah, I'm just doing this. So I don't know. Should I focus too much on that character? She's probably fighting himself. That inner struggle is just like, I mean, that's my guess anyway. But again, he's probably just wants to lay the foundation for these characters and stuff like that. So, like in the end, depending on who lives and dies or whatever, you can get a sense of feeling for them. Because you want your audience to be invested in the characters. So I get that, man. Okay, so Phantasm's fractured dream logic was due in part to extensive editing and during shooting. We did not have a clear idea of the ending, says Don. Several endings were filmed, and one was even used in Phantasm 4. In retrospect, Don says the freedom to pick and choose which ending was due to his independent financing of the film, which is a good point. Like I said, because he funded this. Well, he didn't do it, but his parents funded the film. But okay, so like I said, he didn't have executive sense. Well, yeah, I don't like that ending. Do this, which is good. So that's why you should always make your own. Well, for your first film, you should always make your own film. Don actually paid an audience to watch an early cut of the film. It was a disaster, he says, but he was encouraged by the audience reactions to certain scenes. Due to the financial success of Halloween the year prior, Vice President of Embassy Pictures, Robert Ream, uh, purchased Phantasm for distribution. The film was released in March 1979 in California and Texas, then gradually made its way to other states over the course of that year. Side note, it was released in Australia as Never Dead due to the fact that there was an Australian film, an Australian porno film called Phantasm.
Oh shit.
I thought that was a nice tidbit. Oh god. Okay. Now, okay, so that's basically the genesis of the film. How but now, fast forward a few decades. In 2015, Don showed interest in making a 4K restoration of the film, but didn't have the funds to do it. Bad Robot and specifically J.J. Abrams specifically showed interest because J.J. is a fan of the series. Don told J.J. he did not have a high quality print, so J.J. volunteered his Bad Robot Studios to restore the film to its former glory, to where it looks nice and crisp and everything like that. So that remastered Phantasm was released for limited theaters on September 24th, 2016, and after that was released on Blu-ray that December. So that is Phantasm. I know it's brief, but that's how I like my shows. But yeah, this is, like I said, it's a horror film that has a special place in my heart. Don't ask me why, because it's really not that great, but I just like it. Because I don't know, it's something about that whole, because I feel like I'm kind of in Mike's shoes when I watch it. Who's like the lead character? Because I think we've all been there when we were younger, like seeing something or witness something fantastic and like telling like an adult and they don't believe you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So just like, you empathize with him, so like I said, so obviously the course where he goes to get his evidence and stuff like that, and it ends up getting into deeper shit, as the film goes on and everything like that. So I guess that's why I like it. And also because I think the sphere, that whole thing, that whole idea, I've never seen anything like that. I like it how a lot of the most creative and ingenious ideas come from directors' dreams, because like we said, like the James Cameron thing, how he dreamed of the Terminator before he wrote that script, and then now this guy Don, who had the dream of a sphere chasing him down and stuff like that, so he just incorporated it into the film. I mean, I'll be honest, I really don't have dreams like that anymore. When I was younger, I had fantastic dreams. Seriously, it was like out of this world shit, man. But as an adult, I really don't have really fantastic dreams anymore. What about you?
No, I don't remember that many dreams.
Yeah, I mean,
or if I do, it's like random or just crazy or something. But like, I don't really remember, or I don't have as many where I'm like, oh, I had a good dream last night, or I had a weird dream last night. It's like,
no, I mean, like I said, I really dream, and if I do dream, it's like everyday shit that could actually happen. Like nothing fantastic. I'm like, oh, it's like me going to work, or me going to the park, or me going to the movies. Like shit I can actually do. So I'm just like, oh, God, like you suck, brain. But
give me some powers.
Yeah, like that's the shit I would dream about when I was a kid, man. Like, because obviously I read a lot of comics when I was a kid, so that shit just gets drained into my brain, So like I would be like, I don't know, on mascara somewhere, that mascara somewhere, or Mars, with Starfire or some shit like that, But nah, when I'm adult, no. I think the reality of life sets in when you're an adult and just like, yeah, nothing cool like that's never gonna happen to you, bro. So it's just like, yeah, and your brain just realizes that. I do have a couple questions for you, and then if you have any for me, feel free to. But I'm gonna ask my questions first. Okay, so obviously, I'm guessing. Well, I'm correct to that you've never seen this film before, right?
Yep.
Okay. What do you think of Don? the director, writer, and all this of him after me telling you all this stuff about him.
I think that's exactly how I would do a movie, though. Like, not like a structure of a script, but basically winging it. Because I feel like you get better emotions and better storytelling as you watch it, especially as you're watching it through the director's eyes.
I think too.
And I feel like that's 1,000 times harder.
What?
Like doing it that way, it's harder, but like I feel like you get better emotions through it.
Well, also I think too, and this is probably what happened to me if I ever direct a film. Like, ideas would probably hit me like right in the moment. Like, oh, you know what? Let's do this instead. Because I can see myself doing that like all the time. It's like, oh, you know what? We should do this instead. Okay, so like I said, you like the way he did his film. Okay, any interest in watching this film now?
Yeah, I would watch it.
I don't know. I think it's on. Well, I'm sure it's on something that you have. It's an old ass film. Also, since I brought up this film and I brought up the other film, the Jared Johnson film, what you call it? You think you've taken more interest in older horror films now? Maybe,
Yeah. The newer ones don't really have anything that great to go off of.
Well, like we said, man. I mean, the Conjuring series has been like the most consistent like horror franchise. As far as recent years. When I say consistent, I mean consistently good. What's it called? A lot of things are like hit or miss. Like some and mostly misses. So I like to go back to the older stuff, man. Stuff like that. Especially like that shit from the 70s, because it was like the Wild West out there, man. As far as Hollywood concerned, you can get away with anything, man. Like, have you ever seen the original I Spit on Your Grave, man?
No.
Oh, you need to watch that. The original Last House on the Left, which is whose film?
Last House on the Left. What does their name start with?
Well, that gives it away.
Just a letter.
W.
Wayne. No, I don't know.
Wes Craven, man. Wes Craven. Yeah, he did that before he did Nightmare. I mean, to be honest with you, the shit he did before Nightmare is probably worse than Nightmare. To be honest, So yeah, he's a sick one. Was a sick one. So yeah, older shit, man. Like I said, man, it's more grittier, dirtier, shit like that, man. Like I said, I still feel dirty after I watched the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre because it just.
Oh yeah, that's a dirty one.
Yeah, the way the film is like grainy and shit like that, man. It just makes you feel like you're just out in that Texas heat. Just like God, disgusting. It's like I have to shower after I watch that. And also, I think you should open yourself to more foreign horror as well. And I don't mean just Japan. Like I said, there's a lot of English, British horror films that I could recommend for you. Like High Tensions is one of my favorite ones, man, because it's brutal, it's brutal, it's gory, and has a nice ending, like a twist ending, but not no dumb shit like Shaka Shack does. So yeah. But yeah, like I said, I can recommend you a whole bunch of shit, man. And I told you about that film Audition, which is from Japan. That I have another one that I have a copy of, which is sick. Yeah. It's funny because it starts out like a normal like film and it just gets dark like halfway through.
What's that other? There's a director from Mexico, right? Guillermo.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
he does some crazy sick shit too.
Right? His first film is called The Devil's Backbone. You should watch that. I never watched it because it's not in English. It's subtitled, but I mean, you speak Spanish, so you could probably watch it. Yeah, it's funny. But no, The Devil's Backbone. You should watch that one. Yeah, that's eerie. Not gory, it's just eerie.
An Italian Hoarder too is pretty crazy, right? Or no?
Yeah, the Italians. Yeah, well, that's Argento. He's Italian, man. Like I said, he does like I said, his kills are beautiful. They're just beautiful. The works of art. I think that's what he thinks of them as, honestly, because there's scenes in Superior Man where just like, oh, that's horrible, but yet it's pretty. It's pretty, like the way that's all shot and everything like that, man. Like I said, he's a very unique cat, and I like his films, man. Like I said, I mean, that's only one that I have. I want to get. There's like 3 more of his movies I want to get, But yeah, he's like I said, he's a genius in my opinion. It's awesome. You have any questions for me? Yeah,
No, you answered pretty much.
what you call it? So gonna give this a watch, man. Like I said, I have the remastered Blu-ray. Like I said, if you want to borrow it, but I'm sure, like I said, you can watch it on something
Online, right? I think you gave me your Chiller account. Oh wait, what?
But Shudder.
Shudder.
Yeah, he said Chiller. I'm like, what the fuck is that? Shudder. I think and I think there's something debuted on there like recently. I have to look it up, but it's something I was interested in because when I saw ad for it, like, oh really? I might have to watch that. So okay, enough babbling. Sorry, guys, we took up a little time. We just got off on an actual conversation, but that's part of I think why I like doing this is because you generally get to lack of term eavesdrop on us talking about geeky shit and stuff like that, especially me because I am a big geek. I'm not afraid to admit it at all. Especially when it comes to horror, man. Like I said, and for those of you out there, if you haven't heard of this film, haven't watched it before, highly recommend you check it out. If you want to see something that's different in the horror genre, I recommend Phantasm. I would say, like most horror franchises, 1 is a classic, 2 is good. After that, it just kind of goes downhill. I would recommend just watching 1 and 2, and then just kind of leaving it there. Cinder's recommendations. But thank you for listening to me geek out about this film that I love so much. I am Sinder. If you want, you can contact me on Instagram at Sinder666. You can follow me over there where I post about this very podcast. I post about my YouTube channel and just cool shit I find on the internet. Throw it over to this guy.
And I'm Jose. You could follow me on Instagram, JoseCE90, and let us know what your favorite scary movie is, or horror movie, or your director, or if you've seen this movie, let us know.
Yeah, so like I said, our DMs are always open. You can message us anytime, about this show, any show we did in the past, show suggestions, comments, whatever. And yeah. So that being said, I am Cinder. Until next time, we will talk to you guys later.
Peace out.